Hi everyone, welcome to A Beer with Brad, episode 31. Tonight I'm going to talk about my new purchase here, but first let's talk about the beer. Tonight I'm having a Good Life Hazy IPA from Kinkaider Company. It's a hazy IPA, New England style IPA, whatever you want to call it, but a nice easy drinking IPA from Kinkaider. Kinkaider's brewery is located in Broken Bow, Nebraska. I've been to Broken Bow a few times, but I have yet to make it to the brewery. Basically timing just hasn't worked out for me, but they also have a tap room in Omaha, Lincoln, and Grand Island. I've only been to the one in Omaha once, but I've been to the tap room in Grand Island quite a few times. It's a great restaurant. When we're out up there on our crane trips, it's a great place to stop, have lunch, and sample a couple of their beers. So Kinkaider Brewing Company, Broken Bow, Nebraska, and the Good Life Hazy IPA. And for those of you watching that aren't from Nebraska, the Good Life is kind of a nickname for Nebraska. So cheers. So, just a quick reminder, this Sunday coming up, 2 days after Sunday, Saturday and Sunday coming up, right after this episode comes out, is the Rockbrook Village Art Fair. Saturday 10 to 6, Sunday 10 to 5. I'll be right there, just a little bit west of the middle. It's always one of the great art fairs around here. Really enjoy doing it. Really looking forward to it. Hopefully it's better than the other two art fairs have been this year, because they've both been a little bit slow, but you know, art fairs go up and down, and so it kind of comes with the territory. I did just do yesterday, in fact I'm recording this on Labor Day on Monday, so yesterday on Sunday I did Hutch Fest, which was crazy. There was 1 million people there. Didn't sell too many pictures, but the weird thing is I handed out a ton of business cards. So many people were interested in certain pictures or for certain things, and so hopefully, you know, maybe as the holidays roll near, I'll start to hear from some of those people again. So, you know, there's always good and bad to everything, but it was a cool event, really well put on. The people that put it on did a great job. It was really well organized, very well promoted. Huge lines. It opened at 10 a.m. and the line I heard from a couple friends that were coming down there was nearly 3 blocks long. So that's just crazy. So I won't see crowds like that this weekend at Rockbrook Village, but I had a new item there. My wife suggested I make some smaller pictures that are ready for going on the bookshelf or, you know, on a desk or something. So here's a picture of Rosenblatt Stadium. So I had about, I think, 16 or 18 different ones to choose from, and I'll have them again this weekend at Rockbrook. Just something a little bit different, a little bit smaller, but still ready to go. I had some small prints in the past, but they had to be framed, so this one's kind of cool. So this one, I made these wood blocks that they can just sit in. There's a little nice groove in them that they sit in, or have little easels, or I also have a little wall hanger that just sticks to the back. So whatever way you want to display it, I have the piece to go with that there. So one more thing about Rockbrook coming up this weekend. So last weekend, or yesterday, was nearly 100 degrees. It was so hot, but surprisingly the people kept coming through. A couple of the artists lost their stuff because of the wind, but the heat or the wind, nothing deterred that crowd from coming through. This weekend at Rockbrook, unfortunately at 11 a.m. on Saturday is the Nebraska Cornhusker football game. So for those of you that don't know, that basically shuts the town down. So the art fair from like noon to whenever the game's over will just be a ghost town, and most likely it'll just be a ghost town the entire day. So if you're looking for a great time to come to the art fair when it is not nearly as crowded, just come during the middle of that football game. The artists will all be standing around waiting to talk to anyone. They'll show you all their stuff. So it's a great time for people that aren't into Cornhusker football to come out there and check out the art fair. And the weather is supposed to be so much better this weekend. It's supposed to be, I think, in the 80s, sunny. Hopefully not the wind of last weekend, and should just be a good time. So some of you may have noticed that the last Beer with Brad, episode 30, the question and answer, did not come out on time. So I got the video done, recorded, and I uploaded it, and then I left for vacation. My son and I went on a father-son camping and float trip down the Niobrara River, and so I got the video done, uploaded it, and when I left town it said it was processing, which, you know, the other 29 episodes have never had a problem once they've said they were processing. So I left town and I got back home and it said it was still processing. So I let it run another day, and then I finally just canceled it out and then re-uploaded it. So actually, and I just waited until the following Thursday. Since they always come out on Thursdays, I just waited another day or two till the following Thursday and put it out. So that was kind of it's too bad. Broke my streak of having one of these out the first Thursday of every month for 29 months, but it's all right. So that was my question and answer video, which is always a really popular video. And then once it came out, I never promoted it. I never put it on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, anywhere. So hardly any of you have watched it yet, I've noticed from the numbers. So there's a link in the description. I'll try to link it up in the corner of the screen if I can figure out how to do that. But it was a good episode. It had a lot of good questions. And one of the questions was about new gear, and there's a couple things I said I wanted, and one of them was a 360 camera, which I have here stuck to the table apparently. So this is the new GoPro, or newer GoPro 360 Max. They had a GoPro 360 Fusion. So this camera has a lens on the front and on the back, and I'm assuming, well, I think this is the front, and then the screen, the LCD screen's on the back. But so basically I could set this here, and I'm not going to do it in here because of all the stuff behind the camera you don't see, but it's taking a picture both ways, and then in the post-production you can switch the view any way you want. So I bought this somewhat to play with in the car, but I also really wanted it for the helicopter. And so Wednesday, I got this last week. Wednesday, a couple days later, I went in the helicopter. I thought I had it all figured out. I suction cupped it up to the bubble of the helicopter, and so I was here, the pilot was to my right, and so this thing was going to get the view of me and the helicopter and the pilot, and then I should be able to swing around and look out the window as I'm taking pictures, or look forward. And apparently it defaults back to the regular, I think they call it the hero view, or the hero mode, or whatever. So basically I got me and the helicopter pilot for an hour and 30 minutes and nothing outside the helicopter, which is too bad. I mean, you know, this was all secondary to what I was doing, so but it would have been cool to make a video with that 360 view, just kind of playing around. One of the other things that would be cool to do too is you can actually mount it on a selfie stick and like hold it out the window of your car, and the 360 can make it look like it's actually following along, or you could do it in the helicopter, do it in anything, on a bicycle, rollerblading, hold it out, and it acts like it's almost like a drone flying alongside you. So a lot of cool potential, super wide, as you can see from this video here. It got the entire inside of the helicopter, and it was cool. So then just not as cool as it should have been. Next to it, I had this helicopter, or this camera in the helicopter mounted right behind my shoulder. There's behind the front seats, between the front seats and the back seats, there's like a roll bar, a real thick steel bar that goes from the side of the helicopter across. And so I just used that big clamp, and I had it clamped right there looking out the helicopter window. So I think most of you know, when I fly the helicopter, when I'm doing photos, they take the doors off. So it's just big open space where the door should be. So the helicopter was, I don't know why they keep calling this the helicopter, but the GoPro was pointed right out the window. It was a cool view. I was kind of worried because this thing it's not a GoPro brand. It's a knockoff that I got. And sometimes I just feel like it's not that strong or not that stable, but it was stable the whole time. I was really surprised. You can see by the footage here as we're flying along. I mean, it's smooth, and I know some of that is, you know, it's probably more rigid than I think, but also the in-camera stabilization of the GoPro is awesome. So between the two of them, you know, some cool views. And then, so with this one, when I was researching what I wanted to buy, because I was between the GoPro and the Insta360, and I kind of wanted to stay, so I didn't have two different formats of cameras. I just kind of wanted to stay at the GoPro, so I watched some videos on the video processing, and the video processing looked awesome on this. It looked like it was going to be really easy. You basically import your video into the computer, and then you kind of set, like, all right, with the camera looking here, and then you go to the next, you go a little bit further in the video, you set another key point, and then it transitions between the two. Just, the video made it look awesome and easy, and I was like, all right, this is awesome. So I get the camera, and I go to download the software, and apparently they discontinued, since that video was made that I was watching, between that and when I bought this, they discontinued the software for a PC. So I have to edit the video, the 360 part of this video. Well, I need to look further into it, because I think I figured out you can do it in Premiere Pro, but it won't be as easy as you could have in the GoPro software. But you have to edit in your phone, and this whole, I don't know, I'm gonna sound like a grumpy old man here, but editing stuff in my phone is not where I want to be. I don't want my photos viewed on a phone. I want them viewed big and in person. Videos, I'd rather have them viewed on a big screen. And just editing, I want to do on the big screen in my computer. That's why I'm putting it right there. That's what I want. I don't want to do stuff on my phone. I want to edit on my phone and watch on my phone. Phones are great for some things, but it's just not what I want to be creative on. So, still have to figure that out. Hopefully the Premiere Pro stuff I can figure out. I can bring in the 360 video, still set my keyframes, and have a transition from there. So the other fail, or whatever you want to call a problem I ran into. Oh, another problem. So these are the lens caps for the 360. They're tiny, but as you can see, the lenses, because it gets a whole 180 degrees, actually protrude out from the camera. So you have to use the lens caps to protect them, because I guess they can scratch fairly easily. So that's how it should look with the lens caps on. Well, when I got in the helicopter, I put this up there. I made sure it was mounted up on the bubble before I took the lens caps off. I took the lens caps off like this, and I threw them in the camera bag. We flew for an hour and a half, and I landed. I could only find one lens cap, and I was looking all over, couldn't find it. I looked in the camera bag, I looked on the floor of the helicopter, couldn't find anything. Kind of got mad, so I put it on and got in the car, drove home, came home, tore my camera bag completely apart looking for this other lens cap, and I have no idea where it is. So tonight I get ready to film this Beer with Brad video, and I go to take the lens cap off, and I realize the lens caps were stacked on top of each other. So I had two lens caps all the time. They were both just on the same lens. So I feel better about that now that I don't have a naked lens hanging out there. So the other piece of technology that I've run into some issues with are these Rode Go microphones. So this is a wireless microphone. This one here is the actual microphone part. Normally I'm recording Beer with Brad on this, and I have this just sitting right out off screen where you can't see it. You can also, it has a clip, you can put it on there. It has a dead cat you can put on there, even though I've never figured out how to actually make that stay. Or you can hook a lapel mic into it. So a lot of times when I'm in the helicopter, I basically take a lapel mic and I put it up into the headset, so when I'm flying you should be able to hear me, the pilot, and the air traffic controllers all talking. So
the next point's almost straight ahead, probably. Oh, let's do one more tight orbit. We don't go between the buildings.
Okay, okay. Do you want me to start now?
Yeah.
Okay. This altitude, or you want...
Yeah, this altitude, see the yellow crane sticking up?
Yeah.
I want a picture of that job site, so I don't know if you go around and come back across here. That would be the easiest, right?
Yeah, because if not, it's going to be a really tight turn and, you know, really close to the buildings. I can do it, you know. It's like if someone is like, made the picture of the helicopter sideways there, it's going to be, yeah, you know.
And then we'll come around here and
okay.
then also come around there.
Okay.
On their way that way.
Yeah. You want, I understand that you want this thing?
Yeah.
Okay, you're in the part of the crane and there.
Yeah.
Okay.
but I've run into some problems where these don't work. Now these have always worked. Every single time I've recorded Beer with Brad, these have worked every single time. But I've run into other problems outside this room where they have failed. And I started looking into it, and apparently it's a known problem. I've seen YouTubers complaining about these. I've seen other videos of people complaining about them. And so the other night in here, basically I sat the GoPro over there and just hooked up the microphone. Oh, that didn't mention, this is the receiver. So this plugs in to here, and then that plugs into your camera. So you're talking to this one, it's transmitting wirelessly to this one. So I set this hooked to the camera, the GoPro over there, and I sat at my desk and worked. And then I just kind of turned the GoPro on and off all night as I worked, just recording, 5 minutes here, 2 minutes there. Got all done, and I noticed towards the end of it, this system cut out. There was still tons of battery left. There was no reason it should have cut out, but it did. So I got a little nervous about doing this. So what I did was I put the lapel mic in my headset like I normally do, and since this camera was mounted right behind me, I just ran the lapel mic straight from my headset into the GoPro and just completely eliminated all that. You got back, and there's just some weird like popping noise on that audio. It wasn't from the headset, so it was somewhere in the system of either the lapel mic. I don't even know the lapel mic brand. It's some cheap brand I got on Amazon. I probably should have not gone cheap with the microphone, but you know, I have the Rode microphone that I'm have on the camera here. It does awesome. So I should have got a better lapel mic, which maybe I'll do in the future. But there's some weird popping noises. I don't know if the video and audio is gonna, or if the audio for that video is gonna be usable or not. But all said and done, you should see what was done from here on the next Grow Omaha construction update, which should come out in the next week or two. For those of you that don't follow Grow Omaha, it's just a radio. It started as a radio show where we just talk about, and I'm on there a lot. We talk about, you know, what's going on in Omaha with growth, development, construction, things like that. And then I make a monthly Grow Omaha construction update, and you'll see those videos on the Grow Omaha YouTube channel. Sometimes I'll share them on my social media too. So if you want to see all that footage, how I was using these, stay tuned for the September episode of that. So anyways, I get back and I start looking on YouTube about how to make these work or how to troubleshoot them. And you know, I got on YouTube and I typed in like Rode Go microphone keeps cutting out. And the first video it popped up says, easy fix, how to fix your Rode Go microphone. So it gets on to the guy, says, have you been having problems with your Rode microphones? Here's the easiest way to fix them. And he picks them up and he turns around and he throws them straight in the trash can. I was like, okay, that's funny, but that's not what I was looking for at all. So his suggestion was just to throw them away and get something different. I have read some reviews online that just basically say these are for hobbyists and not for pros. And I guess, you know, I'm a photographer that enjoys making videos just kind of for fun on the side. The Grow Omaha stuff is something I just really enjoy doing, and the production quality of it is not super high, but I always want to improve it, try to get a little better. The production quality of these videos, you know, I feel like I'm well lit. I try to have pretty decent audio, but you know, I don't do anything like crazy production wise. So you know, maybe I'll keep using those for a while. Maybe I'll try to do what I did last time with a better lapel mic. But I did see that Rode has a new Rode Pro 2 microphone out. And the cool thing that I noticed was, besides putting the audio out of these and then into the camera, each receiver has 2 receivers. So each one of these with the microphone built in is also going to save all that audio in the microphone itself. So you'll get, your camera should be recording, if everything works right, your camera should be recording the audio, and this should be recording. So if something fails here, you should be able to just hook that up to your computer and download the audio out of it too. So it should be a great backup. It's kind of too bad. I mean, when these first came out and I bought them, they weren't the cheapest microphone in the world. They're still, I want to say they were like $200 or $150. You know, the new ones, the Pro 2, I think was 3 something. So, you know, maybe I sell these to someone that wants to play around with those, and then get the Pro 2. But for right now, you know, it's, the video stuff's kind of secondary. So, I'm looking forward to playing with this more. I think I'm going to get my Volkswagen. I have a 67 Volkswagen Beetle. I think this would be cool to mount up in either in the front windshield or you know, like on the side, put it on the side window of the car or something, drive around, get that 360 view. So definitely before I go on a helicopter again next month, I will be playing with that, trying to perfect it. The reason, if I didn't mention it, the reason it didn't get the 360 views, it always defaults back to the hero mode, which is just the one camera, not the whole 360. Well, thanks for tuning in this month. If you didn't check out last month's, like I said, I'll put the last month's down in the description. You can go check that out. And then this weekend, the Rockbrook Village Art Fair. Hope to see a lot of people there. It's always great when people stop by and they say they watch my YouTube videos. So really enjoy that. Again, if you're going to get out and have a good Life Hazy, didn't mention at the beginning, but I got this at Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, which is just one of the local bottle shops here up the street. So I've seen it around a couple different places. I'm sure you can find it. I don't know. I didn't see if it was a limited release or if it's one of their permanent beers. And oh, I guess I didn't mention this hiding back here, but Full Fledged Brewing, I've had them on before. You know, we're in the heart of Oktoberfest season, so this is a great Oktoberfest I've had this year. I've had a couple of them. You know, Oktoberfest is traditionally in September, so we're in the middle of Oktoberfest season now. That's a great one to have. I was just going to make that my beer this month, but I've been meaning to do this one for a couple months now, so I figured I better get that one out, and you know, there'll be more Oktoberfest down the road. So, well, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you again next month.